funny, Ron, because Jill texted me and said I had her 5 minutes.
I yielded it.
Everyone knows Jill all of a sudden. So my name's Stu Moats, or Stuart Moats. I'm Heather Hill. I'm her running mate. I'm retired military. I was enlisted in officer. I live down in Beaver Creek. We have 2 tree services. I'm an ISA certified arborist. Fancy tree talk for I know how to trim trees. I was actually doing tree work today. And I think more politicians should have calluses and grease on their hands than born into rich families and just they don't understand what it's like. Wednesday next month is the first of the month, and there's a lot of people. These are my people, the people that I interact with. They're still reeling from paying property taxes last month. On Wednesday next week, they're having real hard discussions at their home, wondering, are they going to pay the mortgage? Are they going to pay the car payment, insurance? These are my people. My people, it's the business owners. If anyone's really tried the American dream, worked their butt off to try to make something, you know what that does to a marriage. So right now, Friday night, there's a lot of business owners, them and their spouses, they're at home and they're wondering how they're going to make payroll. And we were talking about workers' comp earlier. I think it's one of the biggest scams in Ohio. You know, Ohio is only one of 4 states out of 50 that have a monopoly on workers' comp. You know, my workers' comp rate's 44% of payroll. Let that sink in for a little bit. It's the highest in the state. When they told me 44%, I was like, that can't be right. Well, I called up the old Ohio Bureau of Workers' Comp, and I was like, I'm Stu, you ever heard about me? And they're like, no. Yeah, no one knows. My other joke is like, hey, I'm Stu who? Because they're like, who are you? And we talk about Whoville and the Grinch and all that stuff. But either way, my nose is way too big to be from Whoville. Oh, another joke real quick too. We'll get back on track. All you men that have no hair and a big nose, I see something out there. Get a cowboy hat, it'll save your marriage. All right, back on track. We got 1 minute left. So workers' comp. I have cowboy hats on my truck too. The truck's unlocked with 3-in-1 tree service on it. So, side note. So workers' comp has what us commoners refer to as a $22 billion slush fund. So go ahead and Google. I won't be offended. Pull out your phones. There's 1,500 employees in workers' comp. Do you know how many of them handle claims? It's the same amount of businesses that Ramaswamy owns in Ohio. 0 in case you're wondering. They spent $170 million outsourcing all the claims. NCOs, managed care organizations, I believe. We pay out about $1 billion a year in lost wages in workers' comp and claims. And we extort Ohio business owners like Heather and I about $1 billion, so about a 0.07 million. Why do we need $22 billion in investments and assets? When you're asking about how are you going to pay for property taxes, that delta, well, I'll say, hey, for the first year, let's cash out $15-16 billion of that workers' comp slush fund. Because why do we need, a zombie apocalypse? Why do we have 26 years worth of money in managed assets? And do you think that's not politically tied to where those assets get invested? I mean, I have some oceanfront property in Dayton, Ohio, if you all believe that. I actually live in Beaver Creek, but close enough, right? So, when you're talking about doing away with property taxes, you'll hear Uncle DeWine and a bunch of people talk about we're going to raise property taxes 20%. It's all a lie. Look up fightlikehill.com, to Heather and I's webpage, and we have lots of suggestions. Now and we know the governor, we're not there of magic pixie dust. We can't legislate that. That's the legislation's responsibility. But we do support it. And I'm a little leery about a billionaire who doesn't support property tax abolishment, which would help every one of us in this room. And that business owner and those people who don't know how they're going to pay their bills the first of the month next week, those are the people that's going to help. 2.75% income tax. No one here complains about paying state income tax. It's the federal taxes that really hits you hard. So why is a billionaire only want to abolish the 2.75%? You know, he was worth $1 billion on February 24th last year when he announced running for governor. Do you know what he's worth today? Look up Forbes magazine, $2.2 billion. Now, I still have some oceanfront property in Dayton, Ohio. If y'all think $1.2 billion in net gain, personal net gain doesn't come with strings attached. The cool thing about being a grassroots candidate is that I don't have to ask the puppet master how we're going to feel about an issue. We're not endorsed by anybody, and I'm not mad about that. We're grassroots candidates. We're not part of the establishment. We have self-thought, independent thought. There's not, so that whole service before self, it's an Air Force core value. Retired military, I have a daughter and her son-in-law. They're down in Pensacola, they're both active duty. My son just graduated ROTC at Ohio State. He's waiting on his orders to go to Arizona. Heather's son, Camp Bliss, that's what the Army calls it. We call it Air Base. Yeah, Camp Bliss. And so Sunday morning, I go into DCI, Dayton Correctional Institute, and I give the message to the prisoners every other week. We serve people, we care about people. I don't like politicians, I don't like politics very much. Because us nobodies, do you think that we feel things are going well? We talk about, I've heard so many lies on this traveling circus show trying to get Central Committee endorsements, it makes me sick. Are we retail businesses now all of a sudden? Oh, we've given the largest tax break in the history of whatever they're saying. Do you guys feel like you have tax breaks? Are you better off now? Are the nobodies that I interact with every day, do they feel like they're better off? No. Because here's the thing, when your property taxes double, and our senior citizens, a lot of people are struggling to get kicked out of their home, and the answer is, well, you can't afford that property, you need to move your butt out of there. That should be criminal. So here we are, we're doubling everyone's taxes. It's like retail, we're gonna double the price of everything, and then we're gonna give 25% off discount to fool the commoners. That's what's happened here the last several years. We've increased everyone's net taxes a crazy amount, and now I hear politicians up here giving you a line of crap like they are me, talking about, oh, we oversaw the biggest tax break ever. Some of that Beaver Creek oceanfront property for you again, right? So, I know I'm taking up all of the other judges' time too, I'm Joe. So, I'll leave you with this. We are for the people. No one knows who the governor was 30 years ago. I actually do, because I had to look it up. You know what, 30 years from now, no one's going to remember who the governor was this election. But here's what you can do. If you have the right people in there, with the right principles, and only care about the people, it's not rich and famous. Because guess what, 30 years from now, no one's going to know who the governor was. But if we can go in there and make good policy for our kids and grandkids, have a better future, that's all we want. Look, governor, lieutenant governor, that's not a stepping stone for us. We're not trying to get to the presidency. We didn't make some backroom deal to say, hey, if I support you in the campaign, and how many days did Ramaswamy spend on the Doge team? 0. Why? Ramaswamy's a smart guy. Absolutely smart. I know the Soros founded PhD from 2 Ivy League schools. He's smart. He can see around that corner. He was like, hey, how much backlash did Elon Musk get for Doge? A lot. Ramaswamy's no dummy. I'm not saying he's not. He can see around that corner. It was like, hey, if I stay on Doge, I'm trying to get back to the presidency, into that race. I'm not going to stick around to Doge and get a bad rep and then try to run it. So here we go. So Trump's a good guy. He's like, hey, VR, you go back to Ohio, your best political move would be governor of Ohio, and then you can launch a 28 race from there. So again, people aren't stupid. I'm here, like I said, I represent the nobodies. No one knows Stu, and I don't care if anyone knows Stu. I have a creator at the end of the day I want to answer to, and 84% of the Republican base are Christians. So the audacity for Republicans to have the front runner as a non-Christian, what's really important? Is your faith as Christianity? Being founded in that, is that important? But we just look the other way when the leader in the clubhouse is not a Christian, doesn't answer to the same God we do. It's important because of core values. Either way, I could talk for an hour. You don't want to hear all that. Again, cowboy hats and the white 350 out in the parking lot. I appreciate you guys. Have a good evening.